Morning and welcome to another edition of Summit Sunrise right here on TV8 Summit. We have a great show for you, and I'm your host, Tyler Vitale, and joining me, as you can see already in the studio, we have some great guests, Mark James and Paul Cohen of the Breck Fine Art Gallery, joining me here now bright and early.
Yes.
Glad to have you guys in here.
I haven't had my coffee yet.
Neither have I. I'm thinking that right now. It sounds about good by the time we go to break. But anyway, we have a lot to talk about. Mark, welcome back to the studio, because you're not living in Summit County, but you're definitely a high country man, right?
That's right, and I'm here quite a bit, so this is, I don't know how many times I've been here, but a bunch.
A few times, yeah.
Being back, yeah.
And we have a couple of pieces. So you're a resident artist at the Breck Fine Art Gallery,
That's right.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so describe, though, what your artistic style is like and what your subjects are usually.
I do Western wildlife, cowboys,
Okay.
Indians, and wildlife. So,
Great.
and it's so I depict the West. The spirit of the West is kind of my little slogan, capturing the spirit of the West. And I work as a backcountry guide, and
are they all solely sculptures?
sculptures. I sculpt in
Okay.
clay, then we cast them in bronze.
Is that even the right term? I remember
No,
you
that's
come in here every
exactly
once in a
right.
while, Paul, and
One sculptor, I once asked him, how would you describe what you do? He says, I push the clay around until the shadows look right. And that's
Right, so
basically
it lands in
it.
the right spot.
that's perfect. That's a great way to explain it.
It
And
is
here's some
indeed.
footage of what that looks like, of some of the pieces that you've done in the past, as well as how long you've been doing this, Mark?
Oh, I started working as an assistant like in the mid-'90s. I started my own career
that right?
only 2005, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've worked with other artists and kind of branched out on my own and just started going. Actually, the Vail Fine Arts Corporation, actually gave me my first
His
film.
first break. In fact, we brought in a piece called White Man is His Grass, which was based on Chief Seattle. And the story was that he gave this very poignant speech to President Franklin Pierce in 1854, white man is as grass, as the white man took over the land and the Indian got pushed off into reservations. But it took him over a year, I think, to sculpt this
year and
piece.
a half.
And so we brought this piece in, and it wasn't even in bronze, it was the clay, the finished clay. And I said to the owner, Jim Tiller, I said, usually an artist has got to have this huge body of work to get into our galleries. How come Mark James is in here with one unfinished piece? And my boss said he's a master carver. He's going to go down in history. And his pieces, as you look at some of these scenes that we're seeing,
Absolutely.
that's the monument of Spirit Wolf. And I mean, they're
You
just
can see the
fabulous
size there,
pieces.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's the small desktop maquette.
right, absolutely. That's paperweight.
It's a paperweight. That's exactly right. So yeah, so the pieces that Mark does, he takes a long time. His faces are phenomenal, and the detail.
And I have seen those, some of the busts that you've created for the Breck Fine Art, at least that are there, and they're outstanding. And here's an example of a piece there that you've actually brought in. And take us through the process then, exactly what are we looking at with this piece, because it's not finished. What do you start out with, and then how does it go to finish?
Well, this is a white-tailed deer, and we work in oil-based plastiline clay, we call it. I've got a wire armature framework.
Okay.
And then I start putting warm clay, piece at a time, and building up a body. And I've got all kinds of measurements. I've got taxidermy references, live references. On this is my first white-tailed deer. So I traveled with a friend of mine, who's actually one of my collectors I met a few years back, named Larry Wiseman. And I called him up and said, listen, Larry, I've got a client that wants a white-tailed deer. Where do I start? What kind of confirmation? He says, got a great idea. Come to Missouri. He sent me some tickets, flew me out. I hunted with him, photographed, got hands-on with live white-tailed deer, and we hunted on animals on the ground, all kinds of photographs and references, and worked with those to build this deer.
I can't think of a really better way than to get inspired for your subject matters, to go out and see them in their
That's
habitat,
right.
and and go on that kind of excursion. That sounds pretty wild. So how long have you been working with Mr.
Larry?
Weiss? Yes.
Almost 2 years now. So.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then so after that, once you get your idea in mind, your subject matter is there, and you've gotten your clay together and molded the way you want, what goes on after that?
And then we send it to the foundry, or I'll make a mold on it, meaning we put latex rubber mold on the
Got it,
piece.
okay.
Take it apart, put it back together, then it goes through the bronzing process. They get replicated in wax, and they go through what we call the lost wax casting method. It's kind of lengthy.
It is. It's like a 23-step process. It's very labor
Sounds
intensive.
like it.
Takes
Yeah.
weeks and weeks. But it's a beautiful, beautiful finished product, especially once it's all put together, and then the patina artist does the special coloring finish, which is basically chemicals applied at hot temperature. And as it oxidizes on the hot bronze, it creates these beautiful finishes. It's not paint, it's called a patina finish.
So the
Right.
original clay basically gets destroyed in the process when you make the mold. You have to cut it up and do things.
which is horrific when you think it's taken him a year to sculpt this
I
piece.
know it. Yeah, I was just
But
thinking.
what it does is it allows, in this case, there's going to be 50 in the edition. It's pretty limited.
Right.
So once they're done and sold out, then the molds
done.
are destroyed. It's gone. It's
Yeah,
the
it'll
end
never
of it.
be
So
done exactly the same again.
That's
You
right.
bet.
And then we're going to be sculpting this. I'm going to be sculpting this with Larry life and a quarter size monument this winter too.
Oh, great.
So-
which will be your second monument. And that's kind of a neat thing. When you have a piece that's
Sure.
quite famous and then it goes to life in a quarter, it kind of puts an artist on the national map as opposed to just a regional map. So
Outstanding.
It's
Yeah,
good
that
for
would
his
be
career.
well. Already by looking at it, I mean, you can try to imagine like it's as a much bigger piece. It's going to be pretty outstanding looking. So, and you're in town though for just through the weekend.
Through the weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what's going to happen there over at the Fine Art Gallery? Are you going to?
I'll be hanging with Paul.
he'll be coming in
Okay.
and everything. The show is officially from 3 till 7.
Okay.
But Mark will be in and out through the day, Friday and Saturday, maybe even Sunday. I'm not sure what your plans
I'm staying
are.
one extra day, so we
Staying
can
an
be there
extra
part of the day Sunday.
This
as
little
well.
piece you're looking at right now is nowhere near finished yet, but we will. This is the piece Mark's going to be working on this weekend. It's called The Lone Wolf. Beautiful little piece. And when you have a piece that's in clay and not finished, it's what we call a precast opportunity. In other words, to help a few collectors get an extra special deal and help Mark get the cost for the foundry to make the molds, the first 5 of each of these will be at a special price.
Got
It gives and then people get the chance to say, okay, I like number 3, so we can sell them number 3 out of the edition of 50 or whatever. So
Right.
that's
Very
kind
neat.
of fun.
And we've
Yeah.
got return clients that can like to watch the pieces in progress. It kind of connects them.
And absolutely, when an artist comes into your gallery and somebody gets to see them operate, do what they do so well, and be able to talk to them, I mean, you're going to be. It's not
Right.
like you're behind a fence or something and doing
we
your
tried
work.
that. He got
And the
out.
kids,
Yeah, exactly.
the kids are a big part of the show.
Oh,
too.
yeah,
We
the
love,
kids. The
the
kids
kids
come
love
in.
coming and give them a little bit of clay and they play a little bit. It's
That's
really
amazing,
cool
yeah.
to bring the kids
And
up
to
on
have
this
that connection,
yeah.
if you were able to take a piece from you,
That's a big
then
part. Yeah.
to have the artist there with you in that piece, it's pretty amazing stuff. So you offer a great opportunity for people to come into your gallery.
Families as well, like Mark was saying, we love to have families, and kids deserve to be surrounded by beautiful fine art, and they'll often get real inspired as well and
And
start
they
to
get
play.
and they start writing me. They send pictures of the kids with what they're doing. I got at the last show I did briefly, settled on past glory, the buffalo skull thing. This little boy went home, made one, and sent me photographs. It's like in first grade.
That's awesome.
My favorite artist. Look what I did. That's like too cool.
That's lovely.
That's got to feel great. Yeah, very cool. So real quick, where's the Fine Art Gallery?
We're right on the corner of South Main and South Park. It's at Purple Awning, Breckenridge Fine Art Gallery. We're open 10 till 8, 7 days a week, but we've always got Mark's work there as well. But
Yep.
this weekend's kind of special. He's back again. I think it's the 5th year you're back, so we're real happy about it. So.
Well, go ahead, stop on in at the Breckenridge Fine Art Gallery. You can see all the incredible pieces that are in there, including the pieces by Mark James this weekend, as he'll be working through the Lone Wolf piece here in studio. So you can go see that. Guys, thanks so much again for coming in.
Thank you
Mark,
for
it's a
having me
pleasure.
again.
Paul,
Thanks.
thanks so
Always
much
enjoy
again.
it.
We're going to take a quick break. We also have a weather report coming up at you, see what you're in store for the weekend. So stick around. You're watching Summit Sunrise on TV8 Summit.